Holy, 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 Alleluia. Holy Jesus, praise Jesus, Alleluia.
Where are we here? There we
Good
are.
morning. There you are.
Well, good morning. Good
I am
morning.
recording. Okay. So, not a whole lot of journals.
But
Let's
we
just
have
jump
to
right in.
let's do it because what a fantastic chart you created.
I know that was
Wow.
preoccupied my mind for a couple of days. So here's, oh, I guess I should share screen. Always forget that. Where's the Zoom?
Do it. Let's do it. Bless your heart.
Okay, yeah, not a whole lot going on here. I did
Oh God.
did the parts with I was a teenager and I did acid once.
Oh, I thought the acid as far as, they
No, 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 it was the drug. So
yeah.
17, my friends and I were at one of their houses and we did acid. I just remembered hanging out at the house smoking pot, and then we decided to go outside, walk down the street to the store without coats on in the middle of winter. We were sliding around on the icy streets at night, which were empty. We were laughing a lot. It lasted about 12 hours. And I felt very disconnected from myself the next day. It was shortly after this that I was ostracized by the town. So I did their health check. And so hers was the nose, the face, the throat from the cold. There was distortion from the drug.
Hmm.
And then and a camera, because a picture was taken of her. I didn't like pictures taken of me. And then the spiritual were words, phrases, and music. Now I highlighted these because I did three different parts on the same day. So this was, remember I said the part was Diana Lynn, and it's like, no, it's Dinah Lynn.
Oh.
Because remember back in the day, there was the Dinah Shore show, and Diana Ross was a big deal. And I think that Gerald Ford, or one of his aides, this was the name they gave me, Dinah Lynn. So I remember being with another girl in school, and we were going from classroom to classroom campaigning for Gerald Ford. I remember being in front of each class and having lots of anxiety. She spoke first, meaning my friend, and I was incredibly self-conscious and uncomfortable. I think a teacher talked us into it. When placing on the timeline, my part told me it was after the MKU and the deprivation tank. That's what I was being programmed for. So I did their health check, and body was her throat from talking. MK was the camera. A picture was taken of her in the front of the classroom doing this. And spiritual was words, phrases, music, and obligations, because I think they played some sort of campaign music before we talked, which I'm still gobsmacked that anybody would care what a 6-year-old thinks about politics. You know what I mean? Or how, yeah, I think I was 6. And then the third part that you and I discovered was
Well, and
that
that a teacher, apparently a teacher, encouraged this. You wonder,
if they were yeah, a cult member, yeah, because I got to thinking too, I remember grade school, some of it, but not all of it. And so I'm like, well, not that you're going to remember every single second of every single day, but yeah, I want to adjust this lighting. I like yellow.
yeah,
I just hate having to block out the sunshine. I love the sunshine.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay. So this was, and again, it was the throat, the camera, and music. Same as this part here. I was like, wow, okay, that's interesting. So I get to him. He was one of the ones that performed. You had Finnegan, Jonathan, Executioner, and the bowel one didn't, presented when you and I were talking last time. I jotted it down, so I was processing it. So I was looking for a picture of a person disemboweled, and I came up with lots of images of Asian ones. like Asian, not humans, but like cartoonish things. The one my part picked was the one that had a person on a cross, a head was chopped off on the ground, and then the perp disemboweled him as well. And that's the picture. And I thought, well, are you sure that one with he's like, yeah, they decapitated first and then you disembowel. It was like a thing. And I'm looking at this like cartoon image or maybe it was an artist's rendition 100 years ago or something, but I was like, well, that's very interesting. This is my part says, yes, that's how they did it. Chop off the head first, then disembowel them. The crowd would shout, bowels, bowels. This was after Jared chopped off their head, which is the part was used to be Jonathan. So I'm doing their health check. So Body says his jaw was sore from clenching it, and his throat because he had to yell a lot, and his arms from the task. He had a sore finger as well. And then MKU said, of course, we were sleepy, hungry, there's exertion, and cameras. This was the part of the snuff film stuff. And then spiritual was word phrases, dissociative theology, and music and obligations. And I got done with this and I thought, well, all three of you have the same issues, throat, camera, and music. And I thought how fascinating the three of them would come up together. So I
Mhm.
and I realized this before, but this just kind of reinforced it, was that these parts when they reveal, it's not just always the one single sequence or um or whatever, different parts with similar or commonalities will come up together as well, even though they're disjointed in time and they're three completely different things. So I was like, oh wow. So
Would you say that that may have to do with that they are familiar with absorbing or taking the abuse that pertains to that type of activity?
I think so, yeah. Like, I don't know if you remember way, way, way back in the day, but um there was Trish was revealing that, I refuse to allow anyone to help her because if they're gonna kill the part, I want to die. I don't want to whatever. I don't want to live. I don't want to do this anymore. Well, at that same time, I had two or three, no, I had a cascade of parts that also piped in and said, yeah, we feel the same way. We feel the same way. We feel the same way. So
Yeah.
at that time, I realized, well, they're not so they're compartmentalized from me, the amnesic part, but down there in the consciousness level, they're not so amnesic of each other. They're compartmentalized, but it's almost as though if they have similar issues, they know about each other. They
Yeah.
trigger each other. And so that's what I guess it's a form of communication between them, whether they're chatting or not. They each know, yeah, that guy over there has a throat camera and cold issue as well, or whatever. So I just thought that was really interesting. And so yesterday, and then the next morning, I spent the morning doing that chart. And then Chris took a nap. I was gonna redo my office. Had to get another shelving unit and I had to completely disassemble everything and then put it all back together. And so that was the evening. And then when I went to bed, it says I'm cold again tonight. I put this in afterwards. I thought, well, if it's that cold part, so after a very thick blanket, this is, real time. I had to wear a blindfold while I was sitting in that icy cold water. I saw that. And then I just saw two women talking. They had large glasses on and short, puffy hair, which I'm thinking it was, that time period of the 70s. I'm like, yeah, that hairstyle and those glasses fit with that time period. So it's this Gerald Ford thing, which I'm not getting a whole lot of more information, but I now know that it's there. And so I haven't been able to figure out what the part name is or to chart or graph or put any of it in there. But I am aware that the Queen thing happened and then Nixon happened. Or wait, was it? Yeah, it was the Queen and then Nixon and then Ford. And during the Nixon Ford time period was when they did more MK Ultra. And I think that that was to suppress deeper the stuff because mom was about to divorce dad, but to also instill some programming in me to go that similar route, like what's her name? Bryce Taylor did, where I'd be involved in politics. And so I think that's why I was campaigning in school as a way to get that ball rolling. But then mom divorced dad. So
Ruined
it just
everything.
kind of took a kibosh.
Yeah.
And then Jack steps in, does his MKU in Iowa, and then I wind up in the military. So I think that was the trajectory before mom was going to divorce dad was some sort of not a politician per se or even campaigning per se, but just involvement in that arena. Because I was already involved in that arena with the Queen and with Nixon. And well, okay, she's already got those memories, so let's build upon that. And that's probably why dad flipped out so much when mom divorced him was all that, got lost. Or I'm wondering if if it went the Queen, Nixon, Ford, and then the MK, and that was the trajectory, and then the MKU to squash it all because of the divorce. So I'm not sure that order, because the
Yeah.
part said,
You know,
well, they
and
did
certainly,
MKU to program you for politics. The part specifically said that. And so I'm like, okay, I trust that, but it doesn't quite make sense to me yet until they give me more details.
yeah.
So
Well,
this part's not, I probably should just make up a name and put all these little details in there and give it existence. Maybe once I do that, and by giving it existence, I mean putting it in all my forms, then maybe it'll fill out after that.
here's also kind of my hunch. Okay, so uh, trying to strategize like a perp,
Yeah.
right? So you've got this kid that you've been sadistically torturing. So you do the SRA MK Ultra, meaning they're doing that to a kid. Yeah, the timing. So my hunch is your dad believed, and if your mom hadn't finally awakened enough to divorce him, and as you say, if he had to put forth money, even if he hadn't, but just when it's coming to you're going to be his cash cow kind of thing.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you've now performed in front of the Queen,
And
Nixon.
president.
So his objective is being achieved, and then all hell breaks loose. So no wonder he's going to risk having weapons in a vehicle and going to stop your mother because she's taking away everything, the
He's
culmination of
been
all
working
years of work,
for 5 or 6 years, yeah,
right?
or 7 years.
But here's one of the things, and maybe why the silence is it's always the carrot and the stick kind of thing as far as you're training it, gosh, this whole realm, right?
I know. It's just so
But
twisted.
okay, so they want to be able, so the carrot is they're moving you in toward politics. You've got this kid that who can perform, who can do all this. It's the ultimate Manchurian candidate. But at the same time, with every advancement and everything they exposed you to as far as additional child trafficking and perps, they
Hmm.
have to make sure that you are going to be silent because look at what could be revealed. So
Yeah.
there's probably that combination. So you wonder if that part that was there that's so quiet, um, the degree of threat. So all of it is they're playing mind games with you. They're doing the MK Ultra stuff, all the positive stuff, but hence those 2 years of silence.
I
The,
know it's like the
the
last
missing piece
bastion.
is the degree of threat. So again, you can try to scramble a kid's brain with brainwashing, but the fact that, as you said, right on the timeline, we've got it's stark by contrast. Okay, we got blank years. You've just remembered some of it, but as you say, you're not getting much more. I can only imagine the kind of threats at that level. So it's going to be both, here's what we're doing to you, so we're scrambling,
Well, I'm getting a vibe right now as you're saying this that the threat was to my mom and sisters
okay, see, we're getting close to something there because how do you threaten a kid more?
than
You've
their own
already
life.
done
Yeah.
humanly possible kind of torture, especially shooting your little friend in the head right in front of you. So we got the Nazis. Meaning, you're doing dentist torture, every kind of torture under the sun. So, how much more can you do to this kid? So that makes sense that if you ever talk,
It'd be the
they had
rest
to
of the
ratchet it up
family.
during that time.
Say that again.
Meaning they had to ratchet the threat up more during that time because now it's the culmination. You've got names and you've got faces and
And
you're now
locations and yeah.
there we go. There we go. So that makes sense that they had to say, listen, you ever talk, they're going to find the thing that's most important to you. The greatest kind of threat, meaning we will do this. Remember when that kid went through that? We're going to do that to you. We're going to skin you alive. We're going to, not only are we going to do that
Except
to you,
except we're not just gonna shoot them in the head. We're gonna peel their skin off and
there you go. Now that would be bad enough. That's why at School Sisters, they show you that gal
that
that,
woman,
okay.
yeah.
So that's bad enough. But they knew that you all were able to dissociate enough that they could torture you alive. You'd still hang in there. So they had to up it. So they would go for your mom. I mean, they threatened something. I mean, and look at the kind of
Well, right
torture you
now
already
as you're
saw.
talking, I'm having this not necessarily images, but a vibe that Angie and Mary were placed in front of me somehow, or and then the threat was instilled. So I was
To them.
literally looking at them, hearing what was going to happen to them. And then at the same time, my parts that had seen such things before, like you say, the filleting and the electrocution and
Mhm.
were just like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't do that to them.
See, I wonder if you guys ever had to see Jack walk into your house and stand over your mother or so? I'm just trying to think,
Oh,
what kind of evil thing they did? What didn't you go through? So once they reach that
I
threshold,
know.
I've learned stuff. It's kind of that they put.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
and here I am.
okay, and there
Yeah.
you are. So now they've got you in front of the Queen. There's two presidents implicated. So they really had to, and plus things are unwinding because your mother, okay, so that's very interesting. Your mother
Yeah,
was,
mom's about to go with us.
so I wonder if like they have to prove to you that at any point in time they can snatch your mother. I wonder if photographs of your mother, it's one of those things, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Here's your mother out shopping. Here's your mother, meaning here's your home. Here's
Yeah, I have an image of mom drugged, knocked out on her bed, and we're standing over her, me and her and Jack
to
and
that,
Angie and Mary.
right? If
Wow.
Jack can walk in your home,
Which
then
which
for a
he
kid, it's
never
it's
did.
like
Yeah.
I
There's
give
no
I
safe place. Yeah.
so here the kid thinks, okay, finally we're going to be safe. We got away from dad. Your dad's useless to Jack now. Jack has to step in because
Yeah.
only Jack takes you to these places. So the Queen and others, they don't care who. has been working with you, your dad. They don't care.
Yeah, they just want
Jack is the face of, meaning your Jack's
he's got to
work.
control the situation. Yeah.
That's right. And your Jack's work. So when you were with the president, or he's abusing you when you're on stage in front of the Queen, those people of influence only associate you with Jack. So it's, wow, Jack, you look at the work you're able to accomplish. They
Yeah.
don't care about his minions. Your
And
dad
now
was.
it's slipping out of your fingers.
So just as things were going well for Jack, it started to unwind. So he has to step in from a managerial role. He's going to shepherd this thing through. Your dad's no longer really in the picture, so he has to step in and do some of the work that your dad was doing so that you don't unwind. So it's going to be both.
Yeah, and that's what was happening when we went to visitation at my dad's apartment. Angie and Mary would stay with Dad, and Jack would take me off to that underground base with the deprivation tank and then the slave labor, with the juicing and the bones and all that crap.
But the only thing you cared about your sisters, but your mother was
Was
the
way more important to me, yeah,
that
because
that
by
makes
then
sense.
my sisters
Somehow.
had betrayed me so many times, yeah.
Yeah, so it had to leave such an impression upon you that
That
the
makes that my part's going, yeah, 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 that's
so
right.
now the question is, what did they show you? So right, it had to be such a done deal that
I
it's going to
can see
silence the kid
he
forever.
put a razor blade knife, the kind you would shave with, that long blade.
Yeah.
He he put that to her throat while she was on the bed,
See
knocked
that?
out,
So he got
to
in.
see what I could look how close I can get to her.
Did he actually cut her?
No, no, it was that I was like, I promise, I won't.
That
I
makes sense.
promise I'll
Now you
never
wonder how he
tell.
got in and how your mother didn't hear it. So somehow they drugged her.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
But without
wondering
being
if,
there, it's interesting who drugged her, unless they got
well, you
engineered.
mentioned when, like a minute ago when you were talking, I think they had me drug her,
Okay, gave her something.
put in
What
her,
did you know it
yeah, in
was
her
laced with enough?
coffee, I think, yeah.
And I
So
wonder what
it's like
Jack
they were
would.
like, look, we will make you drug her. She's gonna be knocked out. Now Jack's gonna come in the house. Angie, Mary, me, Dad, and Jack standing over the bed. Oh, that's right. Yeah. And so Angie and Mary are flipping out too, because they don't even really know Jack. Who's this strange man threatening mom with a razor blade to her neck or throat?
Okay, so I wonder. Okay,
And
so
so they made me drug her to put her in that vulnerable place and make
I wonder
me
what
responsible for it.
it makes perfect sense then. Jack's in your home. You guys thought you got away from dad. So I wonder what it must have been like. Um, so you drug mom. So you had to hear a vehicle pull up, door shut. All of a sudden, he's at the front door. I mean, talk about
Panic, just panic. I was
a
panicking.
negative awe-inspire. Like it's like the Nazis are at the front door, but Himmler himself. He
Yeah,
appears. You think he
yeah.
got away from him. And so no wonder the impression, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. All of a sudden he's at your new home, in your new home. So it would have
Keep your
been
mouth shut, you blah, blah,
right,
blah,
that
blah,
would do it to a
blah.
kid.
You
So
know,
you would have, I wonder
and then
who
there's
opened.
the let's take a look at Angie and Mary. You two, and they're flipped out. So, yeah, we were all standing over her bed. I can see the room and her bed and the bedspread and the
That makes
furniture.
sense.
It was like a lineup: Jack, Dad, me, Angie, Mary. It was
Oh, they
like,
brought your dad.
yeah, in my mom's literal bedroom.
He got your dad.
So it was about shutting him up too, because Dad would
And so
have no more use.
I wonder if your dad came to the door first.
Oh, John. Sorry, I don't mean to change subjects.
No, no.
I I was going online to look for my mom's divorce records, and I paid $5 to have access to some background check thing. I could not find anything under my mother's name, so I thought, well, let me look under my dad's. I found he's got a record. And it only goes back to 2006. So that means when he was like 60 years old, he's still creating a record for himself.
What was he doing?
It was I don't want to don't forget where you were. Let me show you. That's another thing that I ran into. I completely forgot about it like 2, 3 days ago. Um,
Yeah, so
where
he
did
really
I?
became, your dad became the liability.
Yeah, yeah. Where did I put it? Court
They
records.
tossed him, and that's
So
why.
I looked up Angie, even Chris, myself. I was looking for my sister Mary, couldn't find her, but I found her husband. But here it is. I couldn't I got the PD. Yeah, this is the PDF. Um and all this information's right. I remember, oh, look, I have a record of all the addresses I was at now.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
Um that's the name of his company, Sun Bias. Um KNED, I don't know what that is, but criminal traffic record warrants, inmate, Patriot Act, bankruptcies. I think I had to copy and paste a lot of stuff. And this is, the value of the home and all that. That's right. The PDF doesn't give you crap. I had to copy and paste. Okay, Dad's record in Wisconsin. So I just copied and pasted it. So this is 2011. So he had to be like 60 years old here, or maybe even because it was. Oh my God, he's probably closer to 70. Yeah, this is birthday, address, all that's right. Recklessly endangering safety, a felony G, whatever that means.
Well, he pled guilty.
He did, yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
that means he took a plea. So there were a
But he
whole lot
didn't
more
have to go to jail.
charges
There
over his.
must, he had to have had, because if he's 70 years old and doing this,
So
and I
reckless.
think these are like reckless driving. So he must have had an anger thing going on to recklessly drive. I think that's what these are. Um, Probation office,
Yeah.
um, notice of court.
Oh,
You'll understand these phrases better than me. So he had $600 restitution. Oh, here it was.
yeah. This is
Court ordered dismissed two as to count one. He was ordered to serve 6 months in the House of Correction consecutively with credit for 3 days' time. The court stayed it. So he went on probation for 12 months. He had alcohol drug assessment, uh, had to maintain absolute sobriety, no illegal drugs, random urine screens, complete anger management, and cognitive intervention. He's 70 years old here.
yeah. He was DUI.
Yeah, I think so. My $600 restitution. So I'm thinking he must have ran into something or damaged something. Depended to undergo evaluation for depression and sleep apnea. He must have, oh, I can't sleep. I got problems, whatever, whatever. I could send this to you. You could maybe explain what it is to me. Um, Court found a defendant guilty. So he pleads guilty. It gets dismissed or something. Not dismissed, but whatever. He didn't have to go to jail. Um, Motion, defense, and yeah, see, I don't really understand these things. But I'll send this to you if you want to look at it or read it. You could maybe
No,
glean
that's
more
fine.
from it than
Just
I could. Trial date was vacated, court ordered, or I don't know what this stuff
yeah, that
means.
just means they didn't take it to court. He took a
Yeah.
plea deal, so they didn't send him to prison. It
But
was
there's two separate incidents.
okay. Well,
So this one is a restitution $268, and then there's another one with a restitution of $600. Let's switch down here. Okay, so this is the second case number. I think it's the same date though, so I'm not sure what's going on here, but recklessly endangering safety. So I don't know if this is one incident or two, because you know how court stuff gets stretched out over a year or two, and it was somebody's
yeah. So
discharge.
it shows it wasn't a major. Well, 2014. So it wasn't a major thing. Um,
Yeah, so I'm thinking he's probably drinking and driving and having, he's driving recklessly endangering the public,
and it
judgment for unpaid
just
fine or
did it show
forfeiture.
what restitution? Okay, obligation 600 court. Okay, yeah. So you wonder
But
what the
he's
600.
70 years old and this is happening. So I'm
Yeah,
thinking his whole life he must have had a record. So I'm going to start digging around, see if I can find that.
yeah.
See an outstanding obligation. So I don't know if this was paid towards this or what happened there.
I think those are separate fees. So you
I
had to pay
think so
somebody 600
too.
bucks
Well, the thing came up and it said there's two records.
to
And so
charge.
I just copied and pasted them. And this is all the same as the one I just read to you. So I wonder if he was obviously a Mason. He would go to court all these years and flash his signs and get off all the time. But it's two separate lawyers. So I'm thinking that it's separate issues.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't really know what I'm looking at when I'm reading all this, but I was like, they're sending you having drug testing and you have to go to anger management. That's a big deal, you know, and separate case numbers and that's pretty much it. But when I read that, I was like, wow.
yeah.
So like I said, I don't know if this is a whole separate thing because the other balance sheet shows a $600 balance due. And this shows paid, so I wonder if he just blew off paying that $600 all those years. Or no, it starts here, so maybe there's a payment towards it. I don't know.
It
So
looks like he paid it. It looks like he paid it.
yeah, and he would, I would imagine, have to hide it from his wife, or I'm sure she would lose her mind. And when I talked to her, she did say to me, you know, something along the lines, yeah, he's a son of a bitch, but I love him. It's like, okay. So
Well,
even she would admit that he was a prick, a son of a bitch in her words. She was involved in the Kiwanis, so she had her own issues. But so I found that night, and then as I was laying down, then the chart popped into my head. So I got up and sketched something out. The next morning, I put it in PowerPoint. I tried Word. It's that's just so awkward for me. So I just went to PowerPoint. And then
well, it's more
this
useful, right? If but now you can do more with it, obviously, for
so
presentation purposes.
yeah, this is last night. I thought I read this. Okay, so yeah, the 70s. And this is what was really interesting. First of this image, I mean like a huge yacht or maybe a military vehicle. My part is saying a yacht. Yeah. And it was coming right at me, but it wasn't startling me. And then all of a sudden I see the captain. He's got a white uniform and hat with, stuff on his chest. And I believe it's a military uniform, although I'm not certain. The ship was coming right at, it was like it was gonna run into me, and it startled the heck out of me, gave me surge of adrenaline, so I was awake. And then after about 5, 10 minutes or so, I was drifting off again. And then this place, Camp Pendleton. That's all I heard. Camp
Wow.
Pendleton just popped into my mind. I'm like, I don't even know where Camp Pendleton
I'm
is.
from Southern California. I can tell you exactly where it is. There's kind of a no man's land
Yeah,
between,
because Chris has talked about it.
right? Los Angeles, as we all think about Los Angeles, it's broken into four major counties, LA County and Orange County. Then there's kind of a no man's land, and then you have San Diego, Oceanside. So Camp Pendleton is
Oh, right.
the reason there's that no man's land is that is Camp Pendleton, and they do. The Navy SEALs do that as well as Top Gun.
Is
You know,
that
that's
Northern California or Southern
southern.
California?
So it's between Los Angeles, what we would all think about Los Angeles, but you have LA, Orange County, um, Riverside County, San Bernardino. Well, there you are.
Yeah, so
You
what is
need
it?
to get out more.
Sandwiched
That's right.
in?
I'm thinking where? So that would be Diana, that would only, but that would just be a couple hours drive for you.
I
If you're
know.
remembering something about Camp Pendleton, I think you guys, it's beautiful anyways, going down PCH. I think you need to take a trip if something like this has come to mind. I hate to tell you.
Hmm. Yeah.
You and Chris, right? I think
See, that's the last
there it
thing Chris
is.
is gonna want to do.
I've never seen it from an aerial shot. I mean, you've got all the barracks and you've got housing,
Yeah.
but I know
Oh,
off.
but if it was a ship, yeah, that makes
Oh, well,
sense.
yeah, there's a port. And this is where they practice all the beach landings.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, no, that's Navy SEALs, but also they're in San
I was
Diego.
just thinking, this is, I think, is where Joe just was. Because he's Marine now. And he spent probably 6 months down
Probably,
there.
yeah, it's Lejeune on the East Coast and Pendleton on the West Coast.
Wow.
And
Okay.
El Toro Marine Base.
Well, and I'm also remembering that when you remember the part that Chris head butted me, and we took his niece down to Camp. I don't know if it's Camp Pendleton or not, but the MEPS station for her. And yeah, it was a couple hours drive.
Well, if it's Marines, that's where it would
Well,
be.
yeah, but she was going into the Air Force, so I don't know if this is the same
Oh,
place or not. But
good question, right? I mean, which Air
yeah,
Force base would that be in Southern California?
yeah. Anyway, I remember that whole thing entirely, so I don't think anything happened there. But yeah, Camp Pendleton. When my parts, I just heard, it wasn't even my voice, I just heard it, Camp Pendleton. And I went, what? Camp Pendleton? They're like, yeah, Camp Pendleton. So I recorded it. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to ignore that.
So
And then the next,
they would have flown you across country to.
I guess so, yeah. And then, so this is this morning, as I got up, I was kind of half sleepy. I didn't want to wake up today. I added this later, but it was I heard Jack saying, Nixon wants her, Jack says. And my dad says back to him, President Nixon? And Jack says, do you know any other Nixon? If she's good enough for the Queen, Nixon wants her too. And that's what I heard this morning. I was like, well, okay, because I already know about this part. But like these, all I know is just these two guards. So now little pieces are starting to fill in. And I think it's because I have this other part
Yeah.
presenting. So, okay, well, they felt safe enough to tell you the a thin, 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 thin layer. Maybe we'll tell you a little bit more about Nixon. I'm like, okay. And that was it for journals. I think because I was preoccupied with the chart, preoccupied with redoing the office and, getting it rearranged and stuff. And they're like, okay, well, we're not going to stress you out. Do your thing. We'll, whatever. So, but that thing with dad just blew my mind because what I was looking for, and I just kept going in circles and circles and circles with these websites trying to find the divorce records. And you go in there to say, yeah, I want, previous divorces, 1970s era, and they'll lead you, oh, go all the way here, and you wind up with a form on how to file for divorce. I'm like, no, I want the records from the 70s. So I got a phone number. I think I can call and then I'll go from there because I'm trying to pinpoint exactly when she separated, when she divorced, and when she was given permission to leave the state. And I think if I can find that out, other pieces of the pie will fill in because those are the two blank years. And I thought, well, everything started with that separation. So,
Yeah, it really is. It's very interesting that talk about throwing, monkey wrench into the cog of the wheel. Your
and
mother,
Ken, I thought you had her under control, just went through my head.
and just as things are ramping up for them, for Jack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that, like I said, the trajectory to get me like Bryce Taylor was on. By the time she was 18, she was traveling the world interacting with dignitaries from all over the
Yeah,
world.
I need to go back and listen to it. I haven't completed the story, so
Yeah, yeah, no, you're a busy dude. I get it. But
okay.
that's also where her mind files were, well, not where, but she had mind files installed as well. That pill-shaped thing with the little, what I called barnacles all around it. And it did cross my mind. Do you remember the whole mind files with the lily and the tombstone? And I got that from Gray, and now I'm starting to re-question Gray again. And I'm thinking, I wonder, and did he put out the accurate, correct, real stuff? But my mind grabbed a hold of it, and maybe the saboteur inside of me, which I believe is Yuri, sent me on a wild goose chase with it. And I wonder if if that wasn't a part of what Gray was going for. I don't know. I still can't figure out if he's genuine or not or whatever. But just this whole business since Emma ghosted me, I'm questioning both of them. I'm like,
I do find it interesting. I saw one of the episodes of, I mean, this was a while ago, but where Gray, Nathan Reynolds, and Carrie Lahay
yeah,
were, and maybe it was the first one, but I found it noteworthy. Nathan Reynolds is on there without a mask. It looks
Carrie
like
Lahay
when
as
the thing
well.
starts, and it almost looked like Nathan Reynolds is looking at Gray like, "What are you doing all covered up?"
Yeah.
Right? Nathan Reynolds is
Well, and
out.
I asked when I spoke with Emma over the phone, I happened to mention Gray and I said, tell him thank you. The mind files, it opened a lot of things up for me. She's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. I said, tell, I can't thank him enough. And I said, I feel so bad for him with that mask. And I watched an interview where he's every 15 seconds he's screwing around with it. And she offered up, I didn't ask. She says, well, he has to do that because his family requested it. And his family doesn't want to be exposed. And I went, oh, that makes sense. Okay. But still in the back of my mind thinking, why not just blur your face instead of going through all that irritation? So yeah, I'm gonna go back and rewatch those videos now because I never caught that. Nathan looking at him like, because that
At the
was the
very
first time I ever saw him was on that.
just
And
when it
he's like,
starts, it's almost like he's situating himself, and then it's like he sees Gray, and you see the smirk that Nathan Reynolds is trying to contain a smirk, like,
what's
"What are you
that
doing, guy?"
about?
Because there's Nathan Reynolds without a mask, and here's Gray with a
Well,
mask. So
it
it
carries
just
too because yeah, I mean Nathan had a lot of, he was made to kill a lot too, and he's not hiding. So I
yeah.
could see how Nathan would go, what are you, a pussy or what kind of thought? So I'm glad you pointed that out and you'll rewatch those. I
Yeah,
haven't
it's
really
just at the
watched anything
beginning.
for a month.
Just at the beginning, uh, as they
Yeah.
get themselves settled into each. of them on the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah, and those are the two, Carrie and Nathan, I have no doubts about whatsoever. Um, but it was always, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, okay, if you put the three of them together, the two lend credibility to him, right? So I don't know. He's got a lot of good information, I will say that, but I have a huge question mark about both him and Emma now. So has Emma even contacted
Especially, you know,
you?
if you're gonna, yeah, you wonder. But as you say, he had those gloves on that time that
What's
looked
the
like,
point of the gloves? You don't have to hide your hands. I mean, unless they're scarred or tattooed up, but he never wore gloves before, so I don't know. Anyway, we'll get off of that. I guess we could just go into this thing. Oh, I guess I should share. Let's forget
okay,
that. But yeah, I just started
okay.
thinking about what you were talking about in terms of,
Oh, you know
the,
what? I didn't even scroll down, so I didn't even see the page two, page three.
oh, I just did those last
Well,
night.
then, okay, that I feel better. It's like, well, how am I
Yeah,
not seeing
no, I'll go into those in a second, but
it for you? Okay,
I sketched this out on paper. And first it was just the fortress with the parts inside, and I put this round wall around it. But in terms of just making it tighter, because I needed this space, I put this once I put this wall thing in here, I was like, yeah, it is kind of like you got to climb a hill to get up there. But I just kept thinking about how things present. You start off, you've got either body memory, a dream, or image. A wounded child is talking to you,
there you go.
right? So, and I couldn't find a image of it, so I just took a smiley face and put it upside down. So it'd be an upside down sad face or whatever. And I thought, well, was my first thoughts whenever I had those, a dream or an image or body memory? And I thought, well, that's odd. Let me get high. Just forget about it because I don't understand it, whatever. Or, body, oh, I must have done that. Not that I'm having a body memory from 30 years ago. I must have done that the other day and just forgot about it. Or, well, that's odd. Let me go to the doctor. And I started thinking, well, what would other people think or do? You go to the doctor, you get high, you just forget about it.
Huh,
So, okay. So if these thoughts are going to detour you down to here, the medical industry, the psychiatric industry, or street drugs, and then you get lost because they don't give you any answers.
right.
And it's like, well, what did I do differently this time? Well, this time, while I was baptized, I should probably put Jesus in there. Let me see.
Good.
Move that over. Make him a little. I hate making him small, but this time, oh, I did put him there. Okay, I'll just undo that. Okay, so this time I was baptized and I'm trusting myself, I'm investigating, and that took me away from this, either getting high, forgetting about it, pushing it off, whatever. This time I moved forward. Okay. So I ran into a guard, another body memory or a dream or an image. It was a wounded child showing me the satanic stuff. Okay. So the guard, either the body memory shoots you right back over here to this detour, or the guard can says, well, okay, you've gone a little deeper. That's why it's connected to the guard thing. We're going to do, oh, maybe I saw that in a movie or it's from music or a news story or books that I've read. Go back. This isn't wrong. Like, this can't be me. And then if you are
That's so
investigating,
good, Diana, because that's kind of we can liken that to some of those the little brick walls that I put on the football field,
exactly. Yeah.
right? That's such a crucial point right there.
Yeah, or like when I went in to watch Emma shows, oh, well, just meditate, do hypnosis. It must be aliens. So you have that detour takes you back into, society, not finding answers, and you're lost. So, okay, you go past that down to and it's funny because the guard comes before the gatekeeper, which is a higher intensity level. And I'm like, well, that's fast. But this is how it always presents first. It shows me the worst possible awful thing because you're less likely to believe it and go
That's
off
right.
on a
That's
detour.
right.
So, okay, you believe it, the trusting yourself, investigating, and you go past that guard. Well, actually, first, you have to gain this guard's trust. Well, okay, I don't think the meditation or the hypnosis or the aliens. I'm not going this way. I want to go this way. Let me give you existence. Let me put you on my charts and graphs. Tell me what's going on with you. And I was thinking about in terms of real life, if you're approaching a guard shack, you know what I mean? And the guard stops you. You have to give him you have to show him you're an ally first. Give him the password. And if you don't have the password, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to sit here and get to know you. I'm going to find out who you are. What's your deal? And check me out. I mean you no harm. I believe everything you're telling me. And so what happens to that guard? He starts to relax. Okay, you're not a threat to me. And as he realizes you're not a threat to me, then, oh, all right, I guess I'll let you through anyway, even though you don't have the password, because you're okay. I can trust you. So you go to the next step. You get more body memories, more dreams, images, wounded children pop up. And they are the wounded children of this guard. They're the 7 to 10s. And they're showing you, look, there's more horror. you know? So this gatekeeper will either detour you again with your body memories, trying to stuff it away, going that way, or send you this way. Well, okay, my first thoughts, well, that's just too much. That's unbelievable. Remember, I told you that one time was just too fantastical. Or you talk to your friends and family. Well, no one believes me.
Yeah,
And then you start thinking, well, I must just be insane.
that's right. That's right.
Right? And so that detours you back into society or back over here, right? And so same thing with the gatekeeper. Well, I don't have the password, so I'm just going to sit here with you for a day or a week or a
And by
month.
the way, that's where Sybil, right? When people
Except I
say,
was
well, she
thinking
retracted
about that.
everything. So that's what happened to Sybil right
I was
there.
thinking about that too, specifically her. And I
Oh,
thought, well, okay, you do the same thing as you did with this card. I'm going to put you in my charts, maps, and graphs. You're going to exist. You're going to be real. I'm going to give you a new name. Well, and I'm not going to give you. Would you like a new name? Would you like a new picture? Do you want to destroy your prison? Do you want to be baptized? And after you establish trust with this gatekeeper, he says, well, you're not so bad. You can go head on in. And once you go in, you get more horror, right? You got the guard in here that
yeah.
takes you deeper now. So you go from a mid-level to a lower level. Now you're going super deep. And
Uh,
they show you the horror. So you could even maybe not even get to the guard and wind up with the horror, or you're at the guard and he says, check it out. It's even worse than this one.
and
And
this
you're
is
like,
this is where you're going to get the minute by minute kind of play by.
exactly. Yes. And so you can be detoured off again,
Sorry.
except this time it's wow. Demons? No way. I don't believe it. They don't exist.
Yeah.
Right? Or Jesus? Because I remembered that incident with Jesus. My first thoughts were, no way. Who the hell am I that Jesus is going to come help me? I'm not worthy of that. I don't believe it. I don't believe in Jesus, which was my whole thing my whole life because I was programmed into it. So these are another detour takes you off, send you back into society. And if you talk about this stuff, society's gonna, you're either gonna go to jail or an asylum, basically, because
Yeah.
you're gonna commit crimes from being a drug addict, or, they're just gonna think you're
You could
nuts.
write in there, conspiracy theorist, right?
Oh, yeah,
You're now labeled as one of those.
exactly. We'll put that in there because that's right. Conspiracy theorist. Oops. So I guess I kept thinking, what happened in my mind, or I was trying to imagine what would happen in anybody's mind, when they, let me see what size do I want to make this, 16, and what color should it be, here?
A good question, but probably down lower because by the time then that's the greatest fear, right? What happens if I come forward
Mm-hmm.
and start talking about it? Well, people are going to either say I'm crazy or manufacturing this story,
Mm-hmm.
or,
Mm-hmm.
I'm parroting, or uh, mentally there's a compound. I'm suggestible. I want this to be true. I need attention seeking. Maybe even put that one too, attention seeking, because you have personality disordered. So I'm dismissed. So that's really the fear, right? That if I start to talk, and then it's also got to be the fear ultimately then of them coming back, right? Like
The
if you go
memories, you mean?
public, there's got
Oh
to be some.
yeah, if you go public, you're just a whack job. Is that the right color? I don't know.
Sure. But it'll be interesting, Dana, because ultimately, I mean, you have Chris, but let's
Yeah.
say you start getting close to something. It's not only the fear, but what happens if you suddenly see, now, for instance, one survivor I worked with, actually, two different accounts. One, okay,
See, for me, how I bypassed this was because I had listened to Alan Watt for 20 years.
okay, there we
I
go.
knew there was no way that I was this. That it's conspiracy fact. It's
There
not
you go. That you
theory.
were
I'm not
persuaded.
attention seeking. I'm trying to alert people. So for
There you
me, I
go.
never went
So
here.
you don't fear the label, but then the ultimate fear is, let's say you were to find something. So I have one survivor who lives in an apartment complex near some woods, and she found on two separate occasions a dead snake that was very the same kind, a black snake, dead, but by the steps leading
Um,
up to her apartment. And so one could
so
say, well,
you
the snake came out from the, from the woods,
in the
or
forest, yeah.
so that would be a,
I
you
wonder
know,
if that would go here.
well, you're going to have a good sense because by the time somebody believes enough, so you're probably down
I think
far
it's
enough.
here.
I mean, even think about some of the experiments and the dog people. I mean, by that time you're way down.
I
You're getting,
was here when the dog people happened.
yeah. So you're down maybe like each level, right? You've got a
A different, yeah, that's what I was trying to show, that
different
the
degrees of,
guard is going to make you think you're crazy.
yeah. But that's when you go public, right? When somebody decides to not just tell others, but then even
Well,
have
this is where
what you're
I
doing, have a
was.
podcast. So,
Yeah, no one believes me right
yeah.
there. That's where I put that.
Oh, that's right, because as you're saying, it's coming up from different levels. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no one believes me because you could even start talk. I think here you're more internalized and you don't talk about it. But by the time you've pushed past and you get to here, you want to talk to somebody about it.
Yeah,
Because I was just watching YouTube videos here, and it was your YouTube video that shot me down here. And had I not called you, I'd probably be lost right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's maybe I'll just make this yellow because it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
And so yeah, so you helped me go deeper, and then the thing was, well, dogmen, what? That's just too fantastical.
There you go.
And I
That's
was thinking, well, that calls in question all these other things.
that's right.
And so I had already worked out these two so that when this came up, I remember it took me a whole day of thinking about it. And that whole like 2-page journal entry with that argument going on in my head is just too
That's right.
fantastical. But had I not watched Nathan Reynolds' videos, I would have never believed it. But because he talked about it, I could believe it. And so once I got past that guard, this guard here, okay, worked all this out. I'm back here. I'm still trying to be your friend. And he said, okay, I'll show you how it went. You know, we start off slow, threes, fours, fives. It builds up. I was trying to put the eights and nines in the deepest area of this fortress.
Yeah.
And then it builds up, and now we're going to wind down. Now put it all together. You start off here, and you have the, you know what I mean? Just take it in numerical order, and that's the sequence, the context. When you put it in numerical order, that's the story. Not specifically numerical order, but you know what I mean. You get the build up, which creates these gatekeepers, more of a buildup. You got another guard, more buildup, the horror, and then, okay, the horror starts winding down and you go back to your regular life. Maybe I should put that over here or something.
Yeah, you know what? Where you have horror, now you could have another arrow, so it's interesting trying to figure out like the also the idea of resolving, working through it and moving on. So it goes from
Yeah.
so right after the horror, then the genuine grief and loss process.
Oh, yeah.
That's how the memories, that's the resolution process where it goes from acute pain to a scar, a memory. So
Okay. Yeah.
after the horror, then it sinks in. Then that's genuine grief and loss. And then it's no longer emotional reactivity.
Right. Yeah.
So a little green arrow. So it'd be interesting, however you want to show that
So
time-wise.
we'll make this green because the healing stuff is green. So solid fill. Make that green. And this would be where? Here or
I'm
in
thinking to the
here?
right, you're going to have to make it smaller, obviously, to the right of horror, between the
Oh,
horror and the devil and the devil in the deep blue sea.
well, does this even need to be here? Well, yeah, because the guard is showing you the horror. So then after you do
Or maybe
that,
maybe take another, so this is interesting. Maybe take another green arrow and go show it going along the wall and then down and out.
like to over here.
I'm sorry, over to the
Here.
right, because in a way there's a flow.
Right. Okay.
So
So
after
it
horror,
would be here,
where
right
the
at
tip
this
the
point.
tip of the tip of the lightning bolt, maybe bring a green arrow between the horror and the picture of the demon. So it's going to go to the corner, maybe between the demon and the word fortress,
Oh, okay.
and maybe make it a dotted line so it kind of stands out. But yeah, it'll go down almost like follow the path. So you may need
You know
two.
what? I need a single arrow.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
So like right
Yeah, but
here,
make that horizontal.
make what horizontal?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking like if you were gonna visually do a little pathway.
Oh, oh, you mean like down? Oh, shoot. Like down here and out.
Yeah, there you go. So
Okay.
take an arrow, go from the tip of the lightning bolt between, threading the needle between the word fortress and the demon over to the corner and then down and out.
I see.
But
Okay.
maybe make it dotted so that that stands out. Like, okay, we have a different,
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. I see where you, okay. Like,
yeah, now just reverse that. Just flip that.
oh, dang.
Oh boy, I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
No, I do it all the
Okay,
time.
perfect. There we go. Maybe move that into the blue, actually, kind of on top of the wall, so it stands out just. Oh, that's pretty good though. So that's what I was thinking after you come out of the memory.
Yeah. And then
And so
I
there you
need
go.
a
So,
little line
yeah,
pulling
try
it.
that in a dash.
How would you solid fill? I think because it's a shape that's pre, uh,
Oh, you're right. You're right. So you could act, well, so
see
I
what I
wonder
mean?
if you were to just actually go up, draw
Draw a
three
line.
straight lines,
Yeah.
then it'll do the dash. But for purposes of visual effect, I would put it at the tip of the lightning bolt over to the corner, and then from the corner down, and then one out. Because as it shows, right, you're resolving the memory, the horror of it sinks in, and then,
Dash. Now let's make it green. Something like that, or should I go like
oh, I'm
square
sorry.
it out?
Oh, they're perfect. You know what? Just for perfect, kind of like follow the path.
Yeah, just to
Certainly.
make it
Oh, that's really
consistent.
good. So I think so. You've got the arrow out, and then the horror, and so I would do the tip of the lightning
I'm
bolt.
gonna copy paste
Maybe drop the satanic picture. Give yourself more room. Bring that down a little bit.
this one
Yeah, just visually so you can get it out of the way. Not so much out of the way, but
like that.
I bring it down a little bit more. Give yourself a little space there. Okay, now perfect.
Well, I don't want to connect it to
No,
say.
I'm sorry. I would put it right at the tip of the lightning bolt. Start it,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So we don't even really have to have a picture of Satan there.
or if you want, but that arrow, I would move it up there. Oh, okay. But it kind of shows as you come up where the lightning bolt horror is, it looks like, okay, there's a path. So you come up, now the horror of it sinks in.
Right, it's gonna
So I'd move
deter
that
you
arrow,
off. Yeah.
yeah, the red horror lightning bolt. I would start the dotted arrow there and go between the picture of the demon and fortress. So maybe drop him down a
Oh,
little bit.
like
Give yourself.
drop him down to here
There you go. There you go. Now
and then
connect that to the tip of the lightning bolt. No, I'm
okay.
sorry, the other one on top.
Oh, that
There
one.
you go. That one.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. All
And
right.
maybe and maybe that box move to the right and then have one kind of going out. So it
I
shows
see.
kind of a
Okay.
path. There we go. Now do an elbow arrow.
Or do we
Or
want to do a dash or a
or
solid?
just bring, I'm sorry, just bring that one down, that one, extend it, maybe extend it straight down a little bit more. And now do a separate one to the right horizontally. There you go. But now shrink it to where you see the arrowhead. Maybe
Yeah.
move that one over a little bit. Okay, perfect. There we go. There we go. Now for a text box in a certain color that stands out, you can write grief and loss process.
Yeah. Oh, let me make it.
So that vertical line I would put along with it. Um, grief and loss process
Oh, on there. Okay.
along the span of that vertical arrow going down.
This one.
Correct.
All right. So what color should I make that?
Yeah, good question. Whatever stands out. It could be like light blue because that's a, oh, that's good.
Oh, you know what? I should eliminate the word that where it says, well, no, we're on top of the wall. So I guess it could, no, we'll just,
Although by that time it might be, you may be okay in removing that word wall because it's kind
yeah,
of,
because we got to put this in here. Yeah.
and it's self-evident
It
because
is, yes. How about if we just make that green, the same green?
oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Okay. Wonder, should I capitalize?
Oh, whatever you want, but that's,
Getting
there's the
anal.
stages of grief and loss. So, you could, that there's kind of the five stages, so to speak. So that's where that's interesting, right? So that's when the journey really begins once it sinks in. And that's the difference between the reactive panic. So there's not going to be any, that's the resolution of panic attacks right there. So once somebody comes out of that, they're not going to have any more panic attacks. That's the resolution of any kind of compulsions. So that's the answer to like the eating,
Mm-hmm,
drinking,
mm-hmm.
smoking. So once somebody goes down that path, that's the genuine resolution process. And then they can move on with their life.
Yeah, yeah.
So it'd be
All right,
interesting,
well, that
maybe
didn't
make
work.
the over on where you have jail or asylum,
Yeah,
maybe make that box shorter,
smaller.
move
Yeah.
the box lost up, and then you can actually continue that then put another arrow or resolution, grief, and loss. Then you can continue an arrow saying new life or life begins again, or hopes and dreams, meaning
Right,
because
right, right.
there you
See,
go.
oh shoot. I hate it when that does that.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I wonder if you have to bring it to the forefront.
I know, but sometimes these text boxes, it doesn't want to do it. See, it doesn't give you the option. You just have to create it again. So that's okay. So center, I don't remember what that font was. Bradley. Is that it? Yes. And then red
Oh, that's good.
and bold. Okay. And so what are we doing here now?
So then after the resolution, I would do it maybe another little dotted line. Is interesting.
See, if all this was
I wonder if
shoved
you could
over,
make
I'd
that
have
box
room.
um,
Smaller. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
a
Um,
little pronounced. Yeah, so maybe bring that up. That's really good.
well, if we have grief and loss here, I
Bring that arrow
don't
more
really need
up.
it there.
Okay, there you go.
We'll make that a little bigger.
There you go.
Say 14.
Okay, there you go. And now another arrow. So once you go through the resolution process, then another box to the right with an arrow in between the two boxes, and you could say hopes and dreams
Oh,
or
nice.
new
Okay.
life. Meaning, so once the resolution takes place, then you can begin again. Right now, you can how okay, I like that. Right, because
What
that's
color
what
should
you've been
that
doing, right?
be?
You've got peace, you've got rest, you've got
I think yellow because your thinking changes. from,
Well, yeah.
well, no.
Connect it with some sort of arrow. That's good. Because that, right, make that stand out because now people see up in the upper left-hand corner, you're a survivor. Now you're whatever term. Now you're no longer, that's not your identity anymore.
Yeah,
That becomes now you're special ops. Now you're thriving. I don't know. We play on words. We've heard that a lot. Overcomer. Those words have become
that's
almost a
right.
little
Yeah.
cliche. But at the same time, now it's well, that's good because that's where you're taking everybody. Like that's the end game right there. So how do you get to that point?
I guess like that.
Perfect.
Give it a different color, I think. What's a happy color?
Yeah, what is a happy color?
I have so many others.
How about a different shade of blue? That's interesting because top left you have blue. I
Oh, the
like.
light blue and
There you
then
go.
the
So you go
darker
from
blue.
survivor to now hopes and dreams.
Yeah, and
That's
see,
really
because you've
nice.
got to go through
There
here
you go. There you go.
and come out. Yeah.
And the key is then, and right, and really what you're describing is that's the valley of the shadow of death, going down into that valley, trusting that the Lord's going to bring you out. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's really up the other side of the Grand Canyon wall, the grief and loss process. So
Yeah.
you're descending into the Grand Canyon of horror, trusting the Lord will bring you out. And as
Yeah,
you're coming
because
up
he's
and out,
there. You just have repressed it.
there you go.
Because
So
if
these,
Satan's in there, so's Jesus.
yep. So the second half, as you're coming up and out, you can picture it like going down into the Grand Canyon, coming up and out. That's the grief and loss process, the far side of that canyon. And
Yeah.
then when you're on top, right, that's the resolution. Through that resolution process, now you can move on with life.
Wonder if there's there's see, I almost was gonna put a heart shape in here for this, but it didn't quite work. I wonder if I should do that. Insert shape. Because it's like, what's a happy shape?
That's really nice, Diana, because now it's okay, follow the path.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Then you can put the stages along, or the roadblocks along the way. Now you've all obviously got those, but then putting like here you've almost got right the beginning, middle. As a matter of fact, this is it. So the beginning, middle, and latter part of therapy, so to speak, of the process.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I really like that.
Mm, let me do like 12
That's really nice.
and make it thicker, maybe 14.
That's great because now it
Yeah,
certainly
yeah.
shows
You
there's a
start
flow,
off, yeah,
right? You've got
yeah,
off ramps, but there's a flow now to it.
yes, yes. So yeah, once you come out, yeah, you realize the horror
Here's
of
an
it.
additional thought. I wonder, I don't want to, I wonder if you want to do dotted green lines all the way, or at least once you get in there, because it's
And have it be
then.
consistent, yeah.
But anyway, but you got it now. I mean, this is the course of healing. So if you
Mhm.
follow, yeah,
Yeah, you've got to get past your own thoughts, which the thoughts are given to you by the guards,
yep.
or, it's trying to show society's influence. That's when this stuff came in.
Oh, okay. I have another. Okay, right. This almost like you could have circles with a number. So stage one, stage two, but just do it as a number. So like connecting the dots. So you're going to go from one to two to three to four to five. in terms of those various transition points. So when you're talking to a survivor, you can say, well, at the beginning, you're at point one. You've got to move to point two. What's the term? A waypoint, almost like. And so with each level down, I'm just thinking in terms of description, that's pretty good. But if you want to put a little circle, I don't know why I'm thinking in terms of
Oh,
although a
so it
square, either
stands
way,
out. Yeah.
but make it stand out. That's perfect. So that way, as you're talking to somebody, you then can say, well, I think you're at waypoint two, but if you keep going, here's going to be the next stage. So you're on a journey. So that's interesting. So here are the waypoints. So don't get discouraged because right now, my sense is, so as you're going to encourage somebody, my sense is you're at waypoint three. You thought you were at five. I've got some bad news for you.
I
I think
think
you're,
this is the first waypoint, and
there
then
you go.
two.
Maybe bring that down right under the tip of the arrow then. And
Uh,
that would be right
oh,
with the time.
here,
There you go.
like
That's
that.
perfect. Yeah, something like that.
One, two. Okay, so copy paste.
So
That's a
that's going to be each of
three.
those very difficult stages. So you wrestle with it and you've broken through. Now you're at waypoint three. That's enter. There we go. There we go. That's great, Diana.
And then so copy paste. Oops.
So this is where you and the parts are going to have an intuitive sense, like where would five be? Okay.
Is that you think where five would be?
I would think absolutely, but just visually, maybe put five right at the tip of that lightning bolt. Or
Okay.
right, yeah. Maybe move it over just to the left because if they go through the horror of it,
Oh, shoot.
then they've made it out. And then they're really in the shock and denial phase or the
Here?
shock phase. I'd put it up a little bit and then over to the left, right at the tip of that red lightning bolt. No, I'm sorry, the other one. Next to four,
Oh, okay.
right there, right there.
Right there. Okay.
Maybe even shrink it if you want. And then I
And then
think that's
six
perfect
would
because then
be,
where it goes from that angle to the beginning right there, because in a way, the person is for the first time able to move through it's a shock and denial. Denial's dropped off. You've gone through it. Now
it's
you're
so
in touch with it.
shocking. You felt the stuff. I've even thought I need to put Ted's in here somewhere.
And so now for the
Ted's
first
need to
time,
be all along
yeah,
the
there you
way.
go. But for the first time, you're really going to experience genuine sadness. And this is where tears are helpful. This is the
Yeah.
only time somebody really wants to experience. So between six and seven, that's where the genuine tears come in, as well as that's where unsent letters can come in. Well, unsent letters would be right between five and six, meaning now you've been venting along the way, but between five and six, that kind of venting, because now it's the how dare yous. Now you see it. Now you really see it. So that's the shock, the denial, and the anger between five and six. That's beautiful because now you can reference it. Now when you and I are talking, right? Or when you're talking to a survivor, you can say, well, I think you're between five and six right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful. Then you could put even maybe an eight, add I don't know, do you want to do eight for hopes and dreams? Just add an eight right in there. Maybe
Like that?
drop that down underneath the word dreams or just add an eight right. Okay, that's cute. That's nice.
That's cute.
I called it cute.
It is cute. That's why it's at the heart. Okay, good.
What do you think?
What do you think? I mean,
I
yeah,
really
I
this
think
is
this is great because you start off here with maybe I ought to make this wounded child. Well, no, just leave him big.
And I really think the arrows between 4 and 5, if you could, just for whenever you want, make those dotted.
Between here? Oh, you mean these?
Yeah, throughout the box, then make those a dotted trail.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
There you go. Just
that'll
for
be,
consistency, then it's going to make sense. Like, okay, I'm following the dotted line.
yeah.
But
Okay.
it's a great. I really this it just came
See,
together.
I
Good for
wish I
you.
had all this shoved over an inch, but it's
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
right, and you may still continue to play with it, but what a powerful presentation tool as you're working with survivors or a survivor to say, well, I think you're between number 2 and number 3. So
Hmm. Hmm.
visually, now if I'm the person watching you do a presentation, now it's like, and now I know, okay, I got to get to, let's see, I got to do 2 before I get to 3, right? Or I'm so
Yeah,
discouraged.
you because you've got to, this guard has to think you're okay.
There you go.
And I guess you yourself are the heart. You know, you got to hang out with them for a while. You got to, yeah, you've seen it. Yeah, you've felt it. You're working on TED. That helps bring the guards' anxiety levels down. But it's not just about that. For me, it's about in my charts and graphs on the paperwork, giving them existence. Do you exist? Are you on the timeline? What's your intensity level? And then giving them the new life. Okay, would you like a new picture, a new name? Uh, do you want to destroy your prison? Let's get rid of your old home, give you a new home, and creating a visual home for them, like mine's the log cabins in the forest. As much as people might think that, oops, that this
Well,
sometimes,
you better save your work.
oh, yeah.
I'm just mindful, I'm mindful
Yeah, I know.
because
I know what you
I think
mean. I usually do.
I
Like,
lost so
where
much.
is it? Hearts, maps. As much as people might say, people might look at this and go, you know, oh, I have so many people now. Is this really necessary, creating this, Lake City? Is it really necessary to create an internal world where everybody can live? Well, for me, it is because the parts can visualize something new, something different, something beautiful, something safe. They,
And, and Diana, the only person that's going to ask you that question is someone that hasn't gone as far as you have. I can tell you
yeah,
that. So
because
you're the authority on this. So you can,
well, for me, yeah, because you start off, it's just this amorphous thing that's in your head. You know what I mean? It's just, oh, it's a memory. It's got these images. It's got all this ugliness in it. I don't know, yeah, I know what I looked like at that age, but that wasn't me there. It was you. You need to exist as your own unique entity. Select a picture. What did you look like, or what did you observe? What represents you? How would you like to look now?
and so what you're doing, Diana, think about this. I really think, who's the guy
And
again that
and
we
where are
said
you
was,
going to live? Let's give you an environment, you
okay,
know?
think about the prevailing thought, which I really think, who's our guy that went to Oxford again? Derek Prince?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So think about the entire emphasis is on the polar opposite of what should be. You're bringing them into existence. All this teaching is make them go away.
Yeah,
So
shove them down. They don't exist.
they're
Send them back to hell. Well, hell is
there.
the recesses of your consciousness, you
And
know?
so
Yeah, you're right. I never thought about that. It is the polar opposite, but
that's right.
this
That's why nobody's getting healed through this stuff.
this for me, even the other day, I went through here and counted up the accommodations to make sure I had enough. And I restructured the pages because I went from, oh, you can't even see that. I went from 180 parts and I made accommodations for 200. Well, now I'm realizing with I have so many guards. Let's imagine each guard has 10 subparts. Well, that's 1,000 people.
There we go.
I need enough accommodations for 1,000 people. I don't want them having to hang out in their old environment or feel like they're going to be homeless. So I increased the accommodations. I
There you
went online and found more images of huge, medium, and small. And I even changed, like I said, changed the layout. These are the medium-sized homes. These are the smaller homes. Oh, that's kind of a crappy image. And I found more tree houses.
Oh gosh, look at those.
Aren't they cute? I think Chris and I would have a great time living in one of these. Or
Seriously.
the outdoor living. Found more tents.
Hmm.
So for whatever part has whatever desires, do you want to be in a huge group, a medium group, a small group? Do you want to be alone in a tent? You can have whatever you want. And as this person, okay, I want to live alone for a year or two because that's how I'm going to feel safe, might go hang out at Jane's treehouse and get comfortable with people. And, maybe I'll move in with the two people. And over time, hey, you know what? 8 people's okay. And the person that's been living with 8 people might say, great, because I'm tired of rubbing elbows with people. Let's trade houses. I guess they can do whatever they want in there, whatever, whenever. And yeah, the kitchens and all that stayed the same, but they know absolutely that, where are you? I'm going to be continue to learn and read, and I expect them to. I'm going to be continuing to do TED Talks, and so are they, and hitting on Ted, well, not that, but using the knives on Ted, and I might, starting to do hand stuff on Ted. So they know none of this is going to go away. As I look at it on the computer, they also are looking at it. I still have a part that's bothered. I haven't gone mountain biking yet, but she's tolerant because she knows we got to get through this stuff first.
Yeah.
And they all understand the bulletin boards and the stuff. So this is their reality now. This PowerPoint is the reality that I can see in my mind's eye. They exist, they have a new life, they have a new image, they have a new environment. And taking the time, yeah, I think to create the first Lake City maybe was 4 or 5 hours. And then I modified that, took 4 or 5 hours, and then modified this just last time I modified it, it took a couple more hours. But I need to accommodate 1,000 people. You know? Not just
And
the guards, but all of them. And I thought about that too, is as I think in my mind about, oh, it's coming on 12, isn't it? As I think in my mind about,
we'll keep
I,
going a little bit longer. And
okay, I think about, when I think about, I'll think about an incident. Am I sharing?
no, I know it's not
I
on.
do that all the time. I think, okay, well, the part that got drowned, Karate Kick. I remember him, and I know he's got subparts. I can't remember all of their names, but they're perfectly happy, and they're like, that's okay. If I need to talk to you individually, I will, but just address Karate Kick. And I'm
Good.
like, okay, I'm not ignoring you. So I made a graph with just the guardians and the gatekeepers and the guardians.
That's great.
And
That's
this
great.
is kind of what it was before. This is my whole life. And then, okay, here's all the
We go
little
back to that.
pieces.
Did you hold on? Well, okay, it just dawned on me. Okay, is that the whole?
Yeah, these are all the gatekeepers and guardians except for the undiscovered
So
ones.
the small words, it's a little bit smaller. Are those your ages?
Yes, this is actually I need to change that because I took off the number. I do not need 2 decimal points anymore. And You see, I'm starting to remember where everything is. Okay. So yeah, that's better. So 0 to, oh, and you can't even see the end, can you?
You know what you
It's
could do?
60.
Diana, here's a thought. You may want to move the ages, all the way up top.
Well, oops, shoot.
Oh, okay. Well, if you can.
No, yeah, you can.
Because it almost looks like mid.
Well, and it shows the zero level.
Yeah, but the age is a little bit different, right? So during this age, this is what you were experiencing. So it may visually, if you can move that up top,
I don't know.
or you can cut and paste it and move it up, because it almost looks like on a scale of 1 to 10, that's midline, but really, no, in this
Well,
case,
it is the zero midline. And then
that
the green dotted line indicates
I would do
gatekeepers, and this
put the
indicates
age
minus 10.
put the age up top, and then do a another dotted line for midline. I don't,
I
or
don't
try
think it
that.
allows for it. I
Okay.
can't move
Well,
it.
but again, it's absolutely fine. But I think there's something that tells me visually it's going to be more impactful if we
Yeah.
see years up top.
So maybe I'll just put a dashed line over it because it's not letting me move it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, toy with that because if I'm just looking at it, for some reason, I'm thinking it's going to be more impactful if I see the age across the top and then have
Oh, I
midline
know.
where the
I
zero
know.
is right there. But still, you maybe cut and paste the age because the age is crucial. So I can say, okay, that's perfect. Now you can see how much of your life was below the line, but now that the age is
This
put
is the zero level. Yeah.
there you go. But toy
Yeah,
with
I'll
putting
probably
the
have to do a
ages down at the
text
top.
box. I'll probably have to do a text box. Yeah. Because you, like I said, if I
Yeah,
zero in, you can see it or zoom in, but it's not letting me
okay, and here's another, yeah, I don't
move.
want to,
Yeah, it's not letting me move it.
but then maybe with the age, I would just put a singular,
Right, not a gazillion of them. Yeah. Maybe
and
I could
then
just
actually kind of, um,
maybe I
like
could just remove the
just
axis
either
of
have it
layer.
floating or like age one, age two, or kind of bracket up top.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, but anyway, you'll be able to toy it. That's
But
just a
yeah, this is the zero line.
visual effect. That's great to have the zero line in there. That's super crucial. But then as you go through, you could even just do it as a text box up top, age one, age two.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But yeah, I've only one positive. I guess I don't even know that you would
As a
call it
matter of fact,
learning there.
that would be impactful, Diana, to do maybe a text box, make it thin, because now you can see you can span it by virtue of that white text box with the number one, age two, or 1 year old, 2 year old.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, something like
Okay, there we go. So one of those
we'll do
minors
make it larger.
for spanning the entire
Oh,
year.
yeah, one. Oh, I can't do it like
Well,
that.
with some of the years that's going to be more
I know,
packed,
you're right. I just
you may
realized
want
that.
to
So
just
I'm
do
gonna have to
one
do
per year.
several text box. Yeah, I'll do that later.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Or maybe even have a line, put the number with zero, one
There you
with
go.
the line
There you
going
go.
down. But yeah, I thought, well, let me indicate this is -6 where the gatekeepers come in, and this is a 10 where there's guards for the deepest levels.
There you go.
This is all demonic activity down here. All this. These
Diana,
are the
I
guards and
love the way I love how we got positive 10 minus 20 because it honors your pain.
I was trying to think, is there such a thing as a positive 20? I mean,
No.
unless God takes you to heaven in your
Okay,
conscious
that right.
form.
But no, I think what this
I don't,
speaks to is this. Our left brain wants to do equidistant, but what this does is it honors the horrific pain.
mm-hmm.
And I think it helps the viewer plus the survivor to realize that this is unfathomable because it takes my left brain, it really it magnifies the right brain. Like for the average person, we're first going to look at, wait, hold on, 1 to 10 minus 20, that doesn't make sense. There. Now what I've done is I have awakened the viewer
To the
to
fact that,
how horrific this is. So it really honors your pain, honors it forces someone to now contemplate that there's something that's so evil
awful. Yes.
that it goes into the minus 10 to minus 20. So it really honors the degree of pain that you guys went through by doing this, by offsetting it like this.
What color should, I think, I always, orange and red are like the different levels of, oh, come on now. I don't
Yeah, I
want
like
to
that.
do
I
that.
like that.
All right, let's see. Format the object, not the text. Fill it with orange. Okay, and then copy paste. Oh, and it's not positive. This will be demonic.
There you go.
Okay,
Maybe instead of negative, I would put horrific,
okay.
or maybe even three. Um,
What?
like one is horrible, then horrific, then demonic. So you might even need a third text box with a separate color.
What? So you're saying, okay, so you're right. You have the 0
Oh, okay. How about this?
to
So
the
the first
6.
level would be traumatic.
Okay, yeah.
The middle level is going to be horrific, and then demonic. There you go. And you're right. That's a minus 1 to minus 10. So that's the traumatic level. That's interesting, right? So you've got because most people are going to think, well, how bad was it? Well, it's well beyond traumatic, horrific, and then demonic.
And I guess,
Yeah, maybe that give that a different color in and of itself. Yeah, yeah.
hmm, I guess I'll have to. It's weird doing it upside down or
Yeah.
sideways. 16, 18, 20. We'll make you 20. Ah, come on. Dang it. Like you need, it's just thinking I should reshape the thing, whatever.
Do you want to try it
Mm.
in black font?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, there you go. There you go. That really stands out.
Hard to do it when it's small.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so black. Make this black.
I think you're going to need an O for horrific.
Oh,
Yeah, it was too small, right? You couldn't see it.
Okay, horrific.
Perfect. And then give it
Mm.
its own color. Give horrific a.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, what color should you be?
Yeah, that's really good.
Actually, I always tend to make demonic this super dark red,
Okay, there we go. There we go.
and then this
Good.
red.
There we go. Good.
I hate to have to make the letters smaller, but if it's gonna fit, it's gonna fit. Okay. Come on now.
Or you could even leave it the same and move it up, even at -5. Trust me, -5 is horrific as well.
Well, that's true. I guess maybe I should make traumatic smaller. We'll go to 16. So 0 to say 4. Horrific can go to there. 24 gonna fit? Yes.
And in with what we're talking about, right? Somebody may look at it and say, "Well, hold on, -1 to 4. That how traumatic could be?" No, but given the nature of what's being foisted upon you, trust
Yeah.
me, anybody's going to be traumatized.
Okay.
Well done, well done.
Oh no, that won't fit. 16. Okay, so we'll pull that out.
That's really good, Diana.
Yeah, even though the gatekeepers don't really happen till here, that's okay. I'm
And again,
positive.
visually, this is really powerful because now people, when we're talking about trauma, they say, wait, so there's levels beyond trauma. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for
I
sure.
really like that. That really honors the pain as well. It honors,
Yeah.
it helps people understand that if you, right, if the average person thinks they understand trauma, no, you don't understand. That's just the mild stuff.
I know, right? Which is
That's really good.
sad, but yeah. The satanic influence is what makes it awful. I mean,
Yeah.
even more awful. I mean, yeah, I can't even, it's mind blowing to even contemplate it. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking,
Boy, that's good.
okay, so there we go. Maybe I should make the line match the color of the box.
Oh, or even overlay it with a very thin color
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
stretching across. Faint enough to where it's not going to detract from anything else. But
Yeah,
okay,
let's
that
see.
makes sense. Yeah, to have those lines match. Oh, that's good.
And so that will be red, and this will be orange, because anything, okay, how's that? The orange kind of gets lost. Maybe I should just make this yellow.
Oh, okay. That's good. That stands out.
All right, there we go. But yeah, these are
That's good.
but all these don't reveal it's this layer and this layer that will start talking to you. Mostly this layer because it's protecting this layer. And
Yeah.
this is subconscious and what do you call it? Yeah, just
And then you can match that as you're describing that with the
yeah,
waypoints.
subconscious repressed. Yeah.
That as you're walking through this, and somebody then is doing the waypoints as well. Say, well, okay, when you're descending, you're at waypoint number.
Oops. Yeah. Hmm. So I should maybe, yeah, put over here this is
Although I take that back.
subconscious.
Sorry about that, because the waypoints, that whole thing is the process of therapy coming. So
Yeah,
retract
it's
my
very
apologies.
different. Yeah.
My apologies. Okay, yeah.
Oh, and I forgot before, let me save this. Before I even go, let me show you the rest of that thing.
Oh, yeah.
I,
Man,
I
that's
got
good.
to thinking about, okay, one incident. I tried to find a simple one. This was the one where I had to, kill the cat. So it was the gatekeeper that showed me first, and I didn't get anything else. Then the next guard, which was a -10, he presented second. Once he presented, then I got the whole story. So this shows the progression in time. This part went from here to here to here to Catherine to Jimmy to Sutton to Eula to Winter. So you can see how it moves through the consciousness. Yeah, this one presented first, this one presented second, but it wasn't until the internal guard was safe with me that he was willing to show me the rest and how it moved through time.
You know how you have Catherine kind of elevated a little bit just visually? You may want to do that for
Jimmy,
Jimmy as well, and maybe make his a little more expansive, expand that. So
the glow.
yeah, easy for me to say. I know.
No, no, it's fine. Now that I've figured out, is that better? I
Um,
guess I wanted to indicate that she showed herself for, I guess the only
yeah,
reason
so
she's
I would
bigger
do
is
just the
because
same.
her name's longer.
Yeah, but now expand his. There you go, and then move the word internal guard up just a little bit in terms of space. There you go. Now elevate, bring Jim's up just a. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, but she presented first.
Yep,
And I didn't know anything else. I just knew that I had to kill a cat. I didn't know how or why or what happened. And then he's like, well,
there
let
you
me
go.
tell you how and
There you
why
go.
and what happened. And I was like, oh, and it was much more traumatic. It was more shocking to me because I thought she was using a knife, and they're like, no, 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 no. You had to use your hands. And once I could grapple with that, then he's like, here, let me show you the whole story. She actually should be probably more like here in the timeline,
That's
and
good.
he's here
Okay.
in the timeline. But yeah, I was like, how, and I thought, well, these are all the other little pieces and parts of your brain, but this is just one incident,
Gotcha.
and then I tried another more complicated incident, and it was Kirk. Now, he first presented to me as a -2, but once he showed me the gatekeeper, this gatekeeper, then they showed me the whole sequence of events. I reevaluated. Well, no, that wasn't a -2. It was -5.
Yep.
But he's always hung out here. I also realized that he's got a couple of parts that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
That he was able to stay in my subconscious as a bad memory of domestic abuse. But I didn't know the depth and level of that domestic abuse.
Yeah.
And once I did, then he's like, I'm really a 5. But for some reason, so I think it's two parts. And Kirk, I always remembered the karate kick, but I'm thinking the -5 was the part somewhere in here that had to deal with the physical pain of it. You know what I mean? So, but same thing again, you move through, guard to gatekeeper, another gatekeeper, then they show you the whole sequence of events,
There you go.
and where they're stored in your consciousness level. But again, without you having me evaluate, well, what are they? A 7, a 2, a 6, a 15, whatever? I would have never started sorting things out like that. And so I want to try and do different depth and levels and show just how many parts can come from one incident.
Good for you. Good for
And
you.
and so I'm thinking I'm going to tackle the 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 black mass because there's like 25 or 30 parts.
What's nice because you're doing this in PowerPoint, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then you can actually, for slideshow purposes, right, you can number them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then as you're tapping it, as you're walking somebody through this, we will see the
Yeah,
chronology
this
of as it
incident.
gets lower and who, meaning it then will give visually that animated effect
Yeah, and I
of
want to
one incident.
probably maybe because Kirk, his time actually, now that I think about it, Kirk should go over here because he's the end of the incident. He was the end of the incident in the timeline. So he technically should be over here because he stored it.
Yeah,
I always remembered this at a subconscious level. If somebody brought it up, oh yeah, I remember whatever. But I didn't remember the depth of pain, which I probably have a
yeah,
part that I've got to add there. And I didn't remember that I was drowned
yeah.
and the whole thing. So I need to like move them to show their movement through time,
Very
if that
nice.
makes sense.
It makes
I
total
didn't
sense.
really have it clear until right now when you and I are talking about it, but
I mean,
he
it
was
makes
the
total
last part in the incident.
there you go, because um it makes sense in terms of when your mother saw you sucking your thumb. Okay, so she's going to see the equivalent of a part of Kirk, and it's at that point that she needed to begin to ask, and that would have then brought about Cedar,
Yes, yes, because
right? To
Cedar
start
was the
talking.
one
So
drowned and
there you
Kali
go.
was the one that mom rescued.
So by the time somebody's going to talk to an abused child, they're talking to the Kirks, and the Kirk is
Yes,
basically
yes.
right.
And
They're the one.
He's a guard. He's not going to let you go here.
There you go. There you go.
You got to gain Kirk's trust because once you get his trust, then okay, I'll go. I'm the external guard. Now you can go to the gatekeeper.
That's right. That's right.
And maybe I'll send you to this gatekeeper first because I don't want you to know I was drowned, but I'll let you know mom saved me. Right? So, yeah, again, like I said, this isn't really fleshed out yet. I think as we're talking, I realize I want to show the movement through time from left to right. And also I need to add this part that I didn't recognize until right now. I always just assumed it was Shiloh, the sick part, that would embody all the physical pain, but I'm realizing there's probably 500 Shilohs in whatever part had to embody. I think just in the beginning of the process with you and I just thought, oh, well, there's a part called sick. She just handles all the sick stuff. Well, no, there's a sick part for every single incident.
There you go. There you go.
Like, so, because it's just way easier to say to yourself, oh, well, there's just one part that's sick. And they embody all the sick parts. And maybe that's true. Maybe there's a guardian for all the sick parts. But um, within each incident, there's always a recovery process, and that's
Yes.
part of it. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that I'm still playing around with
Extremely well
this
done, Diana. Extremely well done.
and
This is great
yeah,
because now, right, the you're this is now you as the resident expert, right?
that
I
just
can put
blows
together
my
certain
mind
charts, but
because
now
I'm
you
like, there's
are,
a million psychiatrists on the planet, and the fact that I'm figuring it out, I just can't even comprehend. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
well, and right because the psychiatrists, or any of us, we're on the outside. The psychiatrists are,
Well, but
all in
psychiatrists
runs, all
also,
in
I
runs.
don't a lot of psychiatrists go into that field because they themselves have trauma. No? Oh, I just think they're going to help.
I think it's a niche. I think maybe they have interest in brain chemistry. Um,
Or, yeah, or just want to help people, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, Frank Anderson is a very, he was, in his case, I believe he probably had a lot of wounds. And so that's why intuitively he can kind of tap in. But
yeah,
I
I
think for the
mean,
majority of psychiatrists, the reason why they don't like doing therapy, they have no interest, is just dispensing meds. They are a scientist in a way,
evaluating who should go into the asylum and who shouldn't, and what kind of meds. This,
There you go. It's just very functional.
how can we, yeah, suppress them and not really
As a
help?
matter of fact, where you're going to tend to find the most uh, survivors are those that are leading the groups or go into the drug and alcohol field, because a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
those were addicts themselves.
Or go into the whistleblower business because
Yes,
they want to try and fix it or become a cop or
yeah,
whatever.
that's right. And that's why my contention is if you want to study um, the idea of hurt people for sex offenders, so if you want to study um, those that were impacted by sexual trauma, you don't interview people on the sex offender treatment unit, you interview them on the drug and alcohol unit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they're trying to stuff it down,
Go.
which goes
Which
back to
shows
my
you,
chart. Instead of addressing the issue,
you go,
they take drugs and then do bad
you
things.
go, which shows you the lie that was put out there that sex offenders are trying to work out their own trauma at the age they choose a victim, like this projection. Um, so they're projecting onto the child. So you can see what a massive lie, talk about propaganda, so
Yeah.
that it takes sympathies away from the true survivor and the victim onto the perp. And
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
that's why ATSA, quite frankly, was receptive to this Matt Osborne contacting them, and ATSA kicked me out because they're reframing pedophiles as minor attracted persons.
Yes,
And
that they're,
so I'm
yeah.
no longer a part of it, but it was such an emotional decision on the part of the director. She and I started interacting. Once I found it, they had kicked me out and I didn't know about it until 9 months after. And I said, hey, word has it. So Matt Osborne came on with a chat saying, Euler's not even a part of ATSA. Look at the thing behind him. He even, I guess, did his another little blog about it. Well,
Oh,
I'm gonna
God.
do another part of the video about that. No, Matt, I didn't change my video. I was trying to be polite to the CEO, the president of ATSA, because I finally inquired, meaning I get stuff in the actual physical mail from ANSA, or I did. So
And that's the sex offender
treatment,
treatment
that's the
thing.
largest sex, so the Association for the Treatment of Sexual Abusers.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
so ATSA is the end all be all, but James Cantor is a part of ATSA, and Michael Bailey. So those are really deviant
James
sexologists.
Cantor, the one that's bald with the red lipstick,
No, that's
the one that's in
that was
the
Sam Brinton. No, James
government. Oh,
is
okay.
the academic that is pushing for adding P for pedophile to the alphabet list.
The L, yeah, yeah, and that's just a way of
That's right.
normalizing depravity.
So,
Yeah.
as strategic, just as Soros figured out before the riots, his key was district attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
So cashless bail. So you get them in, get them out, and they're
Yeah,
not going to prosecute. So
yeah.
just as Soros figured out the key to keeping Antifa going is the DA is easy on crime in the sex offender treatment things. The key to the whole thing are those that are going to be performing sex offender treatment and evaluations. And so ATSA then, for those that are going to be, meaning is the person low risk or high risk? Prior to court, right? Meaning what recommendation are we going to give the judge? What are we going Okay, so what a brilliant plan to
Sure.
take
Yeah.
ATSA and now shift that from a genuine protective organization to now sympathetic toward perpetrators.
Yeah, because they want to normalize deviance.
And so
Yeah.
Matt Osborne contacted ATSA saying, look at what this Euler's doing. He's putting James Cantor's name out there, Bailey. And so she got so agitated that she yanked my membership, but didn't tell me. She sent me a little email that went into my spam box. So 9 months later, I find out, what do you mean so Matt Osborne appeared mocking. Euler's got this thing and he doesn't even belong to ATSA anymore. I said, what are you talking about? So I contact ATSA or my little membership, and my page isn't opening up. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, what's this?
What?
So I found out 9 months after, and the president actually personally emailed me, and she had an attitude right away. She said, "Your membership was canceled 9 months ago." I said, "Well, didn't anybody tell me what's the issue, and is there an appeal process? Like I'm going to appeal?" And she said, here's what we took issue with, that in this one video, you showed that you referenced that it's the certification is not. I said, oh, okay, sorry about that. And in this video, you referenced that. I said, well, I can go excise that out if that would help you all. I said, I'm not here to agitate you.
What kind of video?
Oh, it's the one about where I interview Ken Herdman, the treatment
On your
specialist. He and I
YouTube
rode together
channel?
at the prison about talking about the problems of putting men in women's prisons
On your YouTube
on
channel.
the YouTube. So there was a little tiny 7-second thing where I say, here's my background. And I got the rare certification. It's true. Now there, and she was so emotional. She actually demeans that level. She says, "That's not hard. There's no big deal about that." I'm thinking, you just did your tear effect.
You canceled me because
You
of that.
can't, right? So when she said, "Well, here are our two issues," because I said, "You canceled my membership and you didn't let me know. You send me stuff all the time in the mail. Where's my official letter of cancel?" Like I said, your email went in the spam box. So I'm assuming for the past 9 months, I've been telling people I'm a member of it. You've canceled me. Nobody let me know. So let's start over. What's your issue? And she said, the issue is this. You reference certification, what was the term? Or membership level as certification. It's not. I said, well, I'm sorry, that's semantics. Sorry about that.
But at
She
the
said,
time, it was true, right?
right. Well, it's apparently not certification. It's just recognition of level. They're demeaning their own self, their own organization. And she said, and you put it in this video. I said, what video? She actually very quickly,
Went right to it, huh?
literally within 5 minutes, I get a return from the president of this organization. So she's interacting with me personally and a lot of energy behind it. It's like, whoa, lady, hold on. Like, finally, we're talking, or, it's like, whoa, the tone of it was very, you could feel this. And
Hmm.
so she said, here are the issues. And I said, well, it'd be nice that you told me 9 months ago, or I wouldn't continue to say I'm a member of ATSA. I
Right,
said,
yeah.
but aren't you interested in retaining membership? What did I do? So she said, you said it. Certification is not. It's just recognition. I said, okay, semantics. Sorry, I kind of assumed it was a big deal, not just academic, but or professional and academic, and then research. But what you're saying is, okay, well, it seemed to have different criteria. That's the gold standard. Had to have 3,000. Like, if you qualify for this, but then you can do this, but then this.
Right, you
And
have to
you
earn
have
your
to
way
meet the
up.
standards. So
Yeah,
what they did is she's so agitated, she just brought everything to the same level. One membership
the
level is
same
the
as
same as the
another.
other. I'm thinking, okay, if that's what you're okay with, so I didn't really go there, but I thought, lady, you're insulting your own organization, number one now. So it
Well,
tells me you're
yeah.
emotionally driven. And then up comes, she says, and you put in the video, you actually said that kind of like you can hold yourself out as kind of above and beyond the norm. well, what's your organization for in these different levels?
Right. Yeah.
So I said, well, I'm sorry if I assumed that that level meant something.
Which at the time you earned it, it did, but now it
What's
doesn't.
that say about their organization?
Right.
And
Yeah.
then when she said, it's at this mark, this is what we take offense at. You're referencing that like that's a credential, like that's a feather in your cap. I'm thinking, okay, if that's what you want to say about your organization. And my response was, well, now that you've let me know, I will take it out and I'll get right back to you. So I went and I just spliced it and then
Yeah.
put it back together. A week later or 3 days, a very short period of time. Well, that didn't satisfy her. So now that I've rectified it, but she was also saying, um, your 11,000 hours doesn't still qualify you to be able to say that you have unique experience. It's irrational, she was saying.
11,000
And
hours.
I thought at that point, that's when I started with ATSA. That was before doing treatment on the street here.
Yeah.
So I'm probably up to 15,000 hours.
Wow.
So it was like she was saying, it was no big deal. I'm thinking, lady, find another person in your entire organization that has 15,000 hours of clinical contact. Hardly. Even the
Yeah.
academics don't have that.
Yeah.
Um, so once she gets irrational like that, I thought it's over. So two things happened very quickly because I wanted to show her, lady, you're being irrational, and that was so we got something else.
Something
You're
else is
sick.
there. Yeah.
You made a
Someone's
personal decision.
twisting her arm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did I know she did made a personal decision? Why is it a year later, a month ago, I'm getting an invitation to renew, like, hey, don't let your membership lapse because the annual conference is coming up. So she didn't take me off the mailing list. Okay, that's not normal. If you're going to kick somebody out of your organization, you're going to have a process to where you're purged from the
Yeah.
mailing
You're
list.
done.
She
Yeah.
did a personal decision. It was very energetic on her part. So when she said, here's the offending, so she had one screenshot, and the question is, where'd she get those screenshots? So Matt Osborne has contacted every organization under the sun. He contacted
That you
ATSA.
are a part of. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. And so he provided this. She's so agitated because I say there's no such thing as minor attracted persons. It is BS.
It's a
It's relabeling
deviance.
pedophiles.
Yeah.
Well, guess who's spoken at the ATSA conference? James Cantor, who's pushing MAPS. So they don't like the fact that they have a member. So the entire field of sex offender treatment has shifted into sympathies and the need to understand
The pedophile. Yeah.
a pedophile. So I am a liability to them and I'm an irritation. So what Matt then did, it shows you how he was somebody had to either alert him or he's been checking this because probably within a few days, when I told the lady, I said, "Oh, well, you simply somebody could have reached out to me and said, 'Hey, we have a problem with these two things.'" The one screenshot post where I said, "Oh, what does Euler know? Well, maybe this can help." And I show the plaque from ANSA. I said, nothing personal, but I'm not going to take that one down. But if you don't like the video, I will excise that. So within 5 minutes, I sent it back to her. I said, does this meet, are you okay with this now? Meaning, you've kicked me out, but meaning to your satisfaction, have I excised my reference to ATSA? And she said, yes, thank you. And I said, I wish
It
you would
didn't
simply let me
reinstate
know.
anything for you.
Right? I wish you'd let me know. And then within a week, here comes another article from Matt saying, caught John. He basically he did damage control, and it's like, Matt, you're such a putz. So anyways, that was
Huh.
very
Well, we should
well,
go, huh?
tremendous job, Diana.
Thanks.
Unbelievable. It's
Thanks.
just that flow chart. Now you got the flow chart, the process of healing, the process of treatment, the process of healing. So what a great resource to be able to show somebody in PowerPoint Survivor. Okay, let me tell you kind of
what
Here's
I
where you
went through.
are.
It's just basically what I went through, and I'm trying to imagine
Yeah,
what anybody else might
there we
think or
go.
do or
So it's really,
say.
here's the journey through the valley of the shadow of death, quite frankly. The
Yeah,
way, the waypoints.
yeah. Okay.
Let me pray.
All right.
Wonderful. Lord, thank you. Thanks that Diana and I can continue to work together as far as in this journey. Lord, thank you. Thank you that you are overseeing her work. As she's sitting right there, she's working. Continue to protect her work. Lord, protect mine too, but protect her work.
Mhm.
Be very present with her, help her connect the dots, everything from her insight to then literally helping be able to tap into the parts. Thank you that the parts are so willing now to help really fine tune this. And um, not only are they helping Diana ultimately be set free, but then they'll be serving as such an important trailblazer for others. So thank you that you're helping her really undo, show the path, how to undo the MK Ultra and the SRA stuff. So thank you for that. And thank you for helping them be set free more and more. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I was thinking before I turn my computers on, I say a prayer over them.
Absolutely.
Then I turn them on. So I don't know if you do that,
I
but
have to start doing it as
I
well.
say I bind the powers, principalities, and spiritual wickedness in all realms, human and spiritual. Put impenetrable shields around this, protect it so that I can do your work. And they work pretty good now. So we shall see. But I
That's
start them up
right.
that way now.
That's right.
Anyway, God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, and
And
keep
I'll
up the good
keep you
work. And
posted.
we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Okay. Bye.
Lord of Lords, King of Kings, Alleluia. Glory, glory, great majesty. Alleluia.